Aloha and welcome to Beachwalks with Rocks at beachwalks.tv. Today is show number 31. For you longtime viewers, you'll notice we are not at the beach. However, the beach is right across the street. I had many meetings today and am over in Honolulu, starving, so we're at a Mexican restaurant getting a little bit of food. We were actually going to do beach walk on the beach, but it's raining out there, surprise, surprise. So we decided to do a special edition here. We're at the Ward Center near the borders, place we like to hang out a lot. Anyway, continuing on from yesterday's show to talk about tears and crying and weeping and melting down, I want to really say mahalo nui loa to the cameraman, because after he left me yesterday, he went around and found some absolutely beautiful shots of the trees, weeping flowers, and it's a lovely aspect of spring here in Hawaii. I hope you enjoyed that. I also wanted to talk about music. I'm a big fan of crying, in case you couldn't tell that from yesterday. I'm somebody who cries easily and effortlessly and really enjoy the process. Hey, thank you. Beachwalks.tv is what we're doing.
What is that?
Beachwalks.tv.
Oh, really?
It's a daily video blog we do.
Oh, wow.
So say hi to the camera if you want. Yes.
Wow.
And stop back later, we'll give you the URL.
All right, cool. I'll check that out.
Great.
You got the link there.
Very good. Thanks.
You got anything else, let me know.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
This is my lunch/dinner. Yum, 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 yum. Anyway, I love to cry. It feels so good. And I've gotten over being embarrassed by crying. There's definitely situations where it's maybe more or less appropriate. There was a great discussion a couple of months ago over on the Reinvent blog, which I'll put a link to that in the show notes, because for women cry so easily, and to cry at work is very often seen as a sign of weakness or falling out of control, or a lot of people even think that it's only the number 2 who cries, not the number 1. You know, it's that emotional neurotic self who's crying, but I don't agree with that completely. I think that it's a much more complicated discussion of to actually which aspect of your personality is doing the crying. What I like to do is proactive crying, meaning to have a conscious meltdown. When you're really worked up, when you're really stirred up, crying is a great way to just wash the slate clean, get your number 1 back when the number 2 is yammering in your ear. And I actually gave a week-long series of workshops at a health spa, Rancho La Puerta, which is in Mexico, a couple of years ago. And it was fabulous week, because all week long I taught these very high-powered executive types who are attending this well-to-do spa how to have a conscious meltdown. And it's one thing to just uncontrollably fall apart into a puddle of tears, and it's another thing to proactively say, you know what, it's all over me, I need to take a time out and really flush up this stuff that's going on. A key aspect of that for me is having evocative music that really speaks to the heart, speaks to the emotions, speaks to that pain, to that sadness, to that anger, whatever it is that's burning inside. One of my favorite pieces is Adagio for Strings by Samuel Barber, and I also love that Howard Shore piece that's at the very end of the movie Philadelphia. And I'm wondering if one of these days the PodSafe Music Network might even come up with a category called Meltdown Music. Because I find this notion of really setting aside time and just bawling and flushing the emotions out of the body to be so incredibly useful and helpful. It feels really good afterwards. Yes, you may have red eyes and a red nose, but that's okay too. one last story that I'll tell you. Many, many years ago, over a decade ago, I was in a training with Jack Canfield, who's the author of all of the Chicken Soup for the Soul books. And this was a Train the Trainers kind of a program. And we had done a program in the morning, an exercise in the morning that was incredibly stirring for me, and really, I just fell apart. I was just sobbed for about 45 minutes in public in the midst of this group. But you know, that training was very much training / therapy, so it wasn't that huge of a deal, but minor deal. Certainly not everyone was sobbing after having done this exercise. The rub was that immediately after lunch, Jack had told me that morning that he'd like me to give a special session because he knew that I had a background in training a number of things, and this was a break from the scheduled program, but he wanted me to have an opportunity in front of the 100 and some people to do my thing. I was a wreck, you know. I'm thinking to myself, here I am, I've just fallen apart in front of everyone, and now I'm supposed to stand up in front of them and be the expert or be the teacher. And so I took my hour at lunch. It was in LA, so I got in my car and I went to the water and I went swimming in the ocean. Surprise, surprise. Pulled my head back together. And, you know, I was still a wreck. I came straight from the water. My hair was wet. I hadn't had a freshwater shower. I was in grungy clothes, but I decided this is me. This is what I'm going to do. And I got a standing ovation. And it so convinced my number two that, wow, I have so much more freedom to do things in my life than I ever dreamed. And that's what I hope you get out of this show, that it's one thing to see a world-class athlete cry, but if we can't implement that in our own lives, if we can't let the space that he's opening up give us more freedom, then who cares? I say let's let these people give us the freedom to expand our options, live happier, freer life. Skype me on the conch or cry me on the conch at Roxanne Darling, or call 949-544-1456. Aloha.
Like this. We're here to party. I flip the chart, see fill up the cups and overflow Bacardi. I'm the new kid, the chick from the 50. Rockin' this town, ain't nobody gonna stop me. We're here to party. I flip the chart, see rock your ice for another round of Hennessy. It's the new kid, this chick from the 50. Rockin' this town, nobody gonna stop me. What does everybody want? G-Rock to rock the spot, kicking up a lyrical rhymes that makes the track hot. I be twisting it and mixing it, and Dr. Trey be fixing it up. And all the while we be living it up. I got my bottle of Chris, you be tapping up into this. With the beat you can't resist, and this style you can miss. Oh, come around, my flow to witness. Sure to a Rossi just like my French kiss. Dr. Trey said, try out something mainstream, man. We can hook up like a tag team, man. Sweet big hungry rappers up against the ropes. Pin you down now, tell me who rocks the most. My style now perishable, guaranteed fresh. If you're hearing this, you also feeling my success.